Glad you dressed for the occasion, Josh. I didn't get the memo. Let me just start by, first of all, saying how sorry I was to hear about the incident in East Boston, which I heard about, frankly, just about the time I got to the airport this morning. And I and I'm sure everybody else are pulling for Officer Santolo and Officer Morris and their families during this, what I'm sure for them is an incredibly difficult time. And with that said, I had a really nice time in Ireland. We went to a place in Dublin called the Temple Bar, which is a pretty famous bar in a pretty famous section in Dublin. And while we were sitting there in the middle of the afternoon, my wife and I were drinking Irish coffees, and this Irish tenor who was singing up at the front of the bar started plucking his guitar and played Stand By Me, which is my wife's and my wedding song, which, completely unrehearsed and unexpected, was about as good as it gets. And I'm thrilled to be back.
Welcome back, Governor.
Thank you.
Since you were gone, a lot has happened.
Really?
Trump's grabbed by the expletive comment in a debate where he called for his opponent to be thrown in jail, allegations that he sexually assaulted several women. You've said that you're not going to vote for Trump. You're not going to vote for anyone for president. But I'm wondering, between Clinton and Trump, who do you think would be better for the country?
There's a reason why I said I wasn't going to vote for either of them. And let me start by saying that I said I wasn't going to support Donald Trump a very long time ago, 7 months. I think I was one of the first elected Republican officials in the country to say that I could not see myself voting for him because I didn't believe he had the temperament for the job. I still don't. Secretary Clinton, in my view, has believability problems, and I still believe she has believability problems. And I've said that I was extremely disappointed that the two major party candidates for president were not people that I could see supporting myself, as somebody who obviously has spent a good part of my life as an interested party and a civically engaged person. And as a result, I spent most of my time working on Question 2 and on Question 4 and on a whole bunch of state rep and state senate races. But the American people have already started to vote, and I certainly hope they will take all the information that's available to them into consideration when they make their decision.
Governor Baker, what has Commissioner Evans told you about last night's shooting, and have you talked to the families of the victims involved? I
haven't talked to the families yet because I literally got off the plane about half an hour ago. But I am gonna reach out to them, and I haven't spoken to Commissioner Evans or to Chief Cross, but I've exchanged text messages with both of them, expressing my concerns and basically offering to do anything I could to help.
We're seeing these cases of police officers being injured or shot on the job, quite often. Is the state doing enough to protect those who take an oath to protect the community?
Massachusetts has, I think, one of the more comprehensive training programs, and we've often shared expenses with local police departments around protective gear. And we've also been supportive with local police departments on filing applications for grants and other forms of funding to support police officers. Certainly, I think the biggest thing we need to do is to continue to be a national leader on the training side, because I think in the end, the best way we can protect officers is to make sure that they are very well trained and very well schooled in what it is they need to do when they're out there, and then hope that incidents like this one are very infrequent and few and far between.
Governor Baker, Commissioner Evans said that the suspect used a tactical shotgun. Do you think police are being outgunned on the streets?
I would rather talk. I'd rather learn a little bit more about that issue before I speak specifically to it. I'd rather learn a little bit more about that one.
Governor, in New Jersey, there's news just today that Governor Christie could face charges for his alleged role in Bridgegate. It's now with the Bergen County prosecutor. You endorsed him, of course, in the presidential race. Any misgivings on your endorsement for him to be president?
Well, people, last time I checked, are still innocent until proven guilty. I'm not going to speak to the details of that, Andy, because frankly I don't know anything about the details of that. My interest in Governor Christie's presidential campaign was based on the notion that a Republican governor in a very blue state had been reelected with 60% plus of the vote in that very blue state, and it demonstrated with a Democratic legislature a profound ability to not only get along with them, but to accomplish good things for the state of New Jersey, and that the people in New Jersey were very pleased with the work that had been done there. And as somebody who has felt for a long time that Washington has a number of problems, but the biggest one is its inability to find common ground between parties and points of view on almost anything, my hope was that my party would nominate for president somebody who had a demonstrated track record as a bridge builder, which is an interesting word choice. I apologize for that.
You and Governor Christie have, at least on some level, a personal relationship as well, and have presented very conflicting or opposite perspectives on the Republican nominee. You had any conversations with Governor Christie about Donald Trump?
Only in very brief passing at events that both of us have been at that have typically involved either the National Governors Association or the Republican Governors Association. Nothing in any detail.
Governor, Senator Warren has suggested as a leader in the GOP you should be more vocal about why you do not support the GOP's nominee for president. Do you feel any obligation to be more outspoken about why you think he doesn't represent what your party should be representing to the country?
Well, I was one of the first elected Republicans in the United States to come out against him and to say I would not vote for him. I think that's pretty far out there. I would also say that I've spoken about his comments with respect to women, his comments with respect to people in the media, his comments with respect to religion and Muslims, his comments with respect to a number of his policies on a number of different occasions. And I've made very clear for a very long time that he was not going to get my vote for president. And I think I've been quite clear about that and continue to feel that way. I find a lot of what he says to be not only inappropriate, but outrageous and disgusting.
Last question here.
There are some who would say vote that's not Donald Trump doesn't mean much unless to vote for his opponent. Is there any conceivable situation where you would vote for Hillary Clinton?
I've said from the beginning that I'm disappointed about the fact that we have two candidates from the two major parties, both of whom I won't vote for. I think Secretary Clinton has real issues with believability, and I think Donald Trump does not have the temperament to be president. And as a civically minded person, I'm incredibly disappointed by that. But I will be spending a good part of my time, as I have been, working on those ballot questions and supporting candidates who are running for office here in the Commonwealth of Mass. And voting's already started. And as I said before, I hope people incorporate all the information that's out there between now and the election, and then they make what they think is the best decision for the country.
Governor, as far as the presidential...
The Mass Benchmarks, the economic journal, which rarely wades into politics, said today that the state should raise taxes to address crumbling infrastructure and ramp up spending on education, et cetera, et cetera. You've said from your 2010 campaign that you were a no new taxes guy. Today, right now, does that pledge still stand as long as you're governor? You won't be signing any new taxes until long?
I don't believe our problem is that our taxes are too low. I think our problem is we need to continue to work on improving the way we spend money. And I think we've demonstrated through our work with a number of different state agencies since we took office that there are opportunities to both improve the effectiveness of the way state government operates and at the same time to reduce spending. And I think we should continue to pursue those opportunities when they're available to us. And I'm not familiar with this report at all, so I can't speak to it.
I'm asking you generally. You said in a debate with Martha Copley, the last televised debate, no new taxes, no new fees if you were governor. Does that remain your position upwardly right now?
Yeah, although the one thing I would say, which is the reason I didn't sign the tax pledge, is if there are ways to simplify the code by making it fairer without necessarily raising taxes, I am interested in that and have been. It's part of the reason why I've supported some of the initiatives we've pursued so far.
Governor, the administration has a deadline Saturday to take a look at the revenue estimates used to build the budget. In light of the September revenues, which came in fairly strong, do you still think emergency cuts are going to be necessary, and are you planning to make them?
Well, remember, we vetoed over $200 million worth of spending to live within the budget that we believed we received from the legislature earlier this year. And those vetoes were based on an assumption that we would hit the benchmark that's currently being discussed as part of the September revenue conversation. the legislature overrode the vast majority of those vetoes, which we said at the time we believe created a deficit, even if we bought in on what the benchmark was. And that's a conversation, obviously, that we're going to have today and tomorrow internally, and get back to you guys before Saturday.
Reading
Thanks,
between
everybody.
the lines, it sounds like you're leaning towards 9C cuts there.
We'll have more to say about it tomorrow.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.